You know why kids love athletes? Kids love athletes because they follow their dreams. How much did they first pay you to give up on your dreams? And when were you going to stop and come back and do what makes you happy? I see guys who work at the same company for their entire lives. They clock in, they clock out, and they never have a moment of happiness. You have an opportunity. This is a rebirth. I'm a wake-up call.
Maybe you here because you need to hear this here. Maybe you here because you need to dust off your dreams. Maybe you need to explore your imagination. Maybe you just need to identify your gift so you can quit tripping in your own life, trying to figure out what you can do when God already planted inside you a long time ago.
Remember your dream. All of us have things that we're believing for, something that we want to accomplish. Deep down, we know it's a part of our destiny. We can feel it so strongly. But then we hit some setbacks. We didn't get the promotion. The medical report wasn't good. Or a relationship didn't work out. Life has a way of pushing our dreams down. They can become buried under discouragement, buried under past mistakes. There are dreams buried under divorce, buried under low self-esteem. It's easy to settle for mediocrity even though we have all this potential buried on the inside. Your dream may be buried. The good news is it's still alive. It's not too late to see it come to pass. We've all been through disappointments and setbacks. Life happens. But instead of remembering the hurt, the pain, what didn't work out, the key to reaching your destiny is you have to remember your dream.
Imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the gifts given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never used those gifts. You never used those talents and those abilities. You never wrote that book. We never heard from your leadership. And there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you. And only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question becomes, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what abilities, what gifts, what talents would die with you? Maybe that's why one woman said, oh, God reached the point of death only to realize that you've never lived. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh, God, to reach the point of death, to realize that you've never used all your potential, all of the things that had been instilled in you.
Look, man, identify that God-given gift and get to pursue it. I had a partner. When we was growing up, all he did was cut grass. I'm talking about he cut grass every day. $2 for the front, $2 in the back. But boy, this boy was talented. He had one of them push lawnmowers with the single blade on it. He was so good, he could take the blade, lower it, and raise it. He could cut patterns in your yard with a push lawnmower. He could put your initials in your grass. You know how big that was in the hood? You get a W in your damn yard. This boy was $2 for the front, $2 for the back. He didn't go play with us nowhere. We going to the swimming pool. Now, man, I got to cut Miss Jackson grass. Hey, man, we going to go to the little school dance. Now, I got to get up in the Maryland. I got to cut Miss Stanley yard. We used to laugh at him. A grass cutter, grass cutter. This boy today in Cleveland, Ohio, he got a landscaping company. You know how much this dude grosses every year? $4 million. $4 million. You know what he do? He cut grass. He got 38 trucks on the road. He got every contract in the city, every office building, every mall. He cut grass. He cut the grass so good when it snowed in Cleveland, he put plows on the front of all 38 of them trucks. He got all the snow removal contract. This boy make $4 million. You know what he do? He cut grass. He cut grass.
You may not understand why a business didn't make it, why a person walked away, why you came down with an illness. You were doing the right thing, but the wrong thing happened. It's all a part of the process. What did you used to be excited about? Now you think it's been too long, it's too big, it's not possible. You don't think you could write the book, finish school, see a marriage restored, start the business. No, get your passion back. You have not missed your opportunity. You have not had too many bad breaks. You're not lacking. You didn't get shortchanged. People can't stop you. Bad breaks, disappointments, loss. There are seeds of greatness in you right now. Dreams so big that you can't accomplish them on your own.
As you think about your goals and dreams, not only is it possible, not only must you decide that it's necessary, that it's a non-negotiable, you have the ability to do more than you could ever begin to imagine. But when we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential, when we look at our environment and the people and the conversations that we're exposed to early on, we begin to form a limited vision of what's possible for us. And so as you think about your goals and dreams, here's what I can share with you because of what I've gone through, and you know this to be true. Changing your life is hard.
Why pay the price? Why work this hard? Why go this far? Why try to learn this much? Why try to do it all? Why try to see it all? Why try to have it all? Why do it? Why learn it? Why study? Why put yourself out? Why try to take on this much responsibility? Why develop yourself to the full? Why try to become all that you can possibly become? Why try to earn as much as you can earn, share as much as you can share, develop every skill you possibly can, see every human you possibly can, go to every class you possibly can, touch everybody you possibly can? Why do that much? Why go that far? Why share that much? Why give that much away? Why try to see everything? Why try to do everything? Why try to become everything? That's a good question, why? And you're the only one personally that can answer that question for yourself. You've got to have your own list of whys. Here's what I want you to do when you go home after you've left this extravaganza. Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. In leadership training, here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy. But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing. From the movie The Professionals, I listened to Bill Heron give his testimony yesterday. From the movie The Professionals, it said, we joined because we believed. We stayed because we were committed. We left because we were disillusioned. But we came back because we were lost. Without a dream, we are nothing. I'm asking you to sit down with your family and develop a dream strategy. I'm asking you to make a list of what you want. What kind of health do you want? What kind of skills do you want? What kind of income do you want? What kind of gifts do you wish to bestow? What kind of power would you like to have? What kind of influence would you like to have? I'm asking you to go home and work on the why. Spend some time as you fly over the clouds and over the ocean back to where you came from.
Hi, welcome back to Mind Control. Hope you enjoy the video.
You, early on, I don't know, 2012, 2013, seemed to be a proponent. Then you kind of soured on it. Where are you now? Are we a proponent, not a proponent? How do you think about it?
I do own a small amount of Bitcoin, and the reason I did it was I was teaching. I'm a guest lecturer at Harvard, MIT, Notre Dame, Temple, Waterloo, McGill. I teach graduating cohorts of engineers. And at my last Harvard meeting regarding this sector, the class challenged me to buy not just Bitcoin, but just get involved in cryptocurrency. Because their argument was, look, I have a 5% weighting in gold. Each quarter, I have bullion, which I store and I pay to store it. And I also use ETFs to balance each quarter to up or down to 5%. And it's been a good stabilizer against, inflation. And you've seen gold set a big move lately, being concerned about inflation. So is Bitcoin. But Bitcoin was originally sold to me as a counterbalance to the equity market. In other words, it would move in a different direction. So if you had a big correction in the stock market, theoretically, Bitcoin would go the other way and it would protect your assets. That's not true. It has a very heavy correlation to the stock market. It too achieves new highs when the market achieves new highs. And when the markets correct, it too corrects. So it's very volatile. You saw it dip $3,000 last week. It's back up. It's moving all around the place. So I would argue it's fair enough. I have a couple of questions for you to answer and everybody that's listening. Why is it that only one cryptocurrency gets this designation, Bitcoin? Because if you bought a basket of cryptocurrencies 2 years ago, and there's many, many, many of them, you haven't made a lot of money. There's simply nothing like Bitcoin. And so it's the only one.
Wait, let's talk about that for 1 second. So if you think of an economy, right? Take the US economy, for example. There's only one currency, right? The US dollar. If you think of euro, right, there's one currency that is the nation state currency or kind of the selected currency, right? And if you kind of go to the global economy, right, there's really the global reserve currency, which is the dollar, and kind of each micro economy has their own currency. If you think of kind of the digital economy, right, you talked a lot about digitizing the world. The digital economy doesn't have a native currency, right? So if you were talking to somebody like a Jack Dorsey and ask him why is he so bullish on Bitcoin, what he would actually say is the first native currency of the internet or the digital world is Bitcoin. Now, the same thing applies, though, that you're not going to have 10 currencies, right? You're only going to have one currency that is native to that environment. And so it becomes this really interesting thing where if you think of it as an economy, right, Bitcoin does become that global reserve currency of the digital economy. Right.
Listen, on that I totally agree, but that is not happened yet. Here's the problem. Let's say I want to use Bitcoin as a currency to make a large asset purchase. So just theoretically, I want to buy some real estate in Switzerland, okay? I want it to be above board. I'm not trying to do it on a clandestine basis. If today I wanted to send $1 million over to Switzerland, I would have to disclose why. I'd have to get permission. I'd have to notify, the banks. They would have to notify the regulators that this transfer is occurring, and I could purchase the land. If I tried to do that with Bitcoin, the problem is the seller is not willing to take the volatility risk of Bitcoin. So if you're valuing, a chateau at $10 million US or 10 million Swiss francs, and you want to pay in Bitcoin, you have to somehow guarantee that when the conversion hits and it goes back to Swiss francs or US dollars, that the seller gets the agreed upon amount. That tells me the sellers do not have the confidence to do large transactions yet in Bitcoin. The other issue with it is I agree with your premise that we could get an international global currency that I could avoid exchange fees. In other words, when I want to go buy something in British pounds, I have to pay the conversion fee from the US dollar, which I do all the time because I have an ETF in England and I have one in euro and I have one in Swiss francs. So I have that major headache. I wish I could just do it with Bitcoin. I can't. And so the reason is the regulators in these countries don't agree yet that Bitcoin is the standard. So if all the regulators agreed that Bitcoin was the standard for the globe, you would be 100% correct. But that is not the case right now. I totally agree with your premise that the globe needs a digital currency. 100% would I agree. If you told me the Swiss and the Euro and the American and the Canadian, Australian governments agreed to whatever that is, I would put up to 20% of my portfolio in it, because then I could move across those geographies easily without paying all the fees associated with converting from one currency to another. Love that idea. Now, that was attempted as a payment service with Facebook, as you recall, an initiative that started early last year that went nowhere so far. But that was a great idea because they wanted approval from the government. But the Fed didn't give them that, and the SEC didn't either, not yet. But I think it's inevitable. You're correct. But you have to bet, if you're betting on Bitcoin, if you're buying it today at 18,000, whatever it is, that that is going to be the de facto currency. And I don't think you have enough assuredness of that yet.
Absolutely. And I think what's really interesting is, like, you really highlighted an important point, which is the Bitcoin ETF, right? Because people in the Bitcoin community, what they would argue is, there's companies that have bought Bitcoin, so you can buy the companies and kind of get indirect exposure. There's things like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which really is kind of this, again, you get an ETF-like product, but it's not actually an ETF. In international exchanges, you can get ETPs and things like that, but there hasn't been that ETF. And I think many people who listen to this that come from the Bitcoin world will actually be surprised to understand that traditional investors, the ETF is this big kind of breaking of the dam or kind of approval point that will allow a lot of capital to flow in that just is sitting on the sidelines saying, hey, this is interesting, but I'm not going to buy it until we have that kind of approval or check mark, right?
Oh, what I would like, and the reason I suggest an ETF, I'm very comfortable with ETFs and I live in that world. The majority of my money invested is in ETFs and the ones I've created myself. OUSA, OGIG, OEUR, OUSM. They've been very good capsules of preservation of wealth for me because I helped design them myself. What I would like to have in a cryptocurrency would give me the top 7 cryptocurrencies, put them into an ETF wrapper, and let me invest in it with liquidity so that I can, if I want to buy $1 million worth of it in the morning and sell $1 million in the afternoon, I can do that in an ETF format. But to me, I don't believe that you can only have one successful cryptocurrency. There must be the idea that there's other and alternative ways, Ethereum and others, that would also benefit from the overall move to a cryptocurrency payment system, preservation of wealth vehicle, whatever it's going to be. And I would prefer to own them in a probably market cap weighted basis in an ETF. That to me would make a lot of sense. And frankly, I'm not the only person that says this. Many others would. But when you go to the regulator, like the Winklevoss twins have done, and I think many others have applied for these applications, I even looked at it once, never went anywhere with it because the regulator basically said no. The importance of the institutional investor long-term to support a sector. You want that institutional investor supporting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They're not there yet. It's a slow creep into it, but you can't deny the success of Bitcoin this year. But it's just this year. What happens if there's a correction next year? That's the issue institutions have.
This is a message for people who have messed up, failed, faltered, blew it, did something stupid, got yourself in trouble, and you think your life is over because you did something stupid. No. Your life is not over. Yes, they're going to talk about you. Yes, they're going to bring up your past. Yes, there's going to be a chatter. Yes, there's going to be a threat over your head. But nothing that the enemy is chattering about has put out your fire. Oh, my God.
Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. You don't have a shortage of talent. You don't have a shortage of gifting. Your problem is you have corrupted character. And if your character is corrupted, it doesn't matter how talented you are. When push comes to shove, you will not last and you will not fulfill the mission God has for your life. And the best way to get good character is to remove bad company. Somebody say, check your circle.
I'm telling you, in every person's life, there's always a degree of chatter. Some little underground noise. You trying to be a mama and you never had one. You trying to be a daddy, what you know about being a dad? There's always some background noise to what you are trying to do. You gonna open up a business and you 2 months behind in your rents. And the moment you raise your hand and says, I'm going to do something, I can guarantee you that somebody's not gonna agree with what you're going to do. Somebody's not going to be supportive of what you're trying to do.
Somebody's going to try to assassinate what you're trying to do. And yet you have to have the commitment and the calling and the tenacity and the character to be able to withstand the onslaught that comes against you in order to proceed toward your destiny and toward your purpose.
You want friends who, when something good happens to you, that's good for you, right? They're happy about that. They're not like all bitter and resentful underground, and like saying horrible things behind your back and telling you how they did something that was better and trying to drag you down. It's like, that's not helpful. And then when something bad happens to you and you go to them and you say, look, this terrible thing happened to me. First of all, they don't try to top it with some like horrible thing that happened to them because they don't have the patience to listen. And second, they're not secretly gloating about the fact that catastrophe finally befell you. It's like they're actually hurt by it. And that chapter is an injunction. It's like, take a look at the people that are around you. And if they're not on the side of what's good for you, then walk away.
I learned more about who I was from my haters. I had no idea I was even important enough to be hated on the level I was hated on. I couldn't even defend myself because I was shocked that you cared enough to write anything about me. Who am I that you would care anyway? Your hatred of me helped to tutor me into understanding my own significance. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying?
I think the biggest vulnerability you've got is you actually value somebody's opinion more than you value your own. Like, the reason I've been able to always do my thing is when I was 24 and people were like, oh, you work at your dad's liquor store? I heard that as like a chip on my shoulder, you know? I loved it. I was like, cool, keep sleeping on me, you know? Like, I'm glad you're on Wall Street making 100,000 buying BMWs and dumb jewelry. I'll see you in 30 years. Like, to me, the way you win is you realize you can't hear nobody. You gotta get real quiet up here. I can't hear anything. You go look at my Instagram right now, my first post, I'll post something, first 100 replies in 1 second. You're Jesus. You walk on water. You're the best. You're the all-time. Can't hear him. The next 100, you're a piece of, you're full of, you're a snake oil salesman. Can't hear him. I'm in my own mind, doing my own thing. And that comes with self-esteem. Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not worried about you renting out cash from the bank and putting it to your ear. I'm not worried you jumped a fence and took a photo in front of a private plane. What do you think these people are doing? They're posing.
You have goals and dreams you want to achieve. Ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And so many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And you have to have goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been.
And I'm going to tell you, I am amazed today at the people who allow criticism to shut down their assignment, who shrink into the abyss of depression, who walk away from what they have been called to do simply because everybody didn't validate them and support them. They simply gave up. It's amazing. In fact, I would be bodacious enough to say that you don't deserve the right to lead if you walk away just because somebody didn't agree with you. You don't need anybody who will just stand when times are good. You need somebody to stand when things are tough. I don't just need a good mama on a good day when the sun is shining and we can get along and everything's going. I need a good mama when the money is low, the circumstances are bad, all hell is breaking loose, I'm in trouble, I've almost lost my mind, but somebody who's going to stand there and be good in the midst of bullying and adversity. I need somebody who's going to stand there and be strong. In fact, good leadership is determined by tough times. You can't prove you're a good leader in good times. You prove good leadership in bad times and tough situations. So you earn the right to be heard through the things you suffer.
Be very careful of people who manipulate and play on your emotions. They get you to sympathize with them. They get you to feel sorry for them. This is not about being heartless. I need you to try your best to emotionally protect yourself from a specific characteristic.
Some of y'all are so used to operating overweight, you're never going to get there. And guess what? You love negativity and dysfunction and keeping these negative people in your life so much. Even everything about this video, it makes you so uncomfortable, you probably stopped it a long time ago. I'm only talking to the people that are ready to get to the next level of their life and their career. And they're going to boldly walk into the next season of their life, unapologetically getting rid of all things, people, and situations that no longer belong in their life.
You run around with losers, you will end up a loser. Unconsciously, you will pick up their ways, you'll pick up their habits, you'll pick up, most importantly, their attitude about life. If you're around cynical, negative people all the time, you will become cynical and negative. Align yourself with people that can encourage you, people that can empower you, people that you can learn from, people that you can grow from. That's very important.
You're rich before you got the money. You're educated before you got the degree. You're a leader before you get the job. You're a visionary before you become a CEO. You're a wife before you get married. You're a husband before you find a woman. If you're not that before, you won't be out. So you have to go through a period of displacement where you have vision to function on a level and don't have opportunity, which creates frustration. Because you say, I feel this with everything I got inside of me, but nothing outside has acknowledged me on the level that I think on. I'm under attack, but I'm still on fire. I got some chatter, but I'm still on fire. I got some threat, but I'm still on fire. I've been to hell and back, but I'm still burning. Last time I tried it, I got in trouble, but I'm still burning. I got some haters that's trying to destroy me, but I'm still burning. Does anybody understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You want to align yourself with people who think like you, people who dream like you, people who want more out of life, people that are stretching and searching and seeking some higher ground in life, as opposed to the majority of people. Somebody said, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. You see, you don't want to be on the bottom. See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. It doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there on a low level. But it calls on everything in you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself. Sometimes I have to pull myself out of bed and say, come on, Les. Things I know I should do, I don't do. Things I shouldn't do, I do. I found that the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
Beware of vision, dream, and passion killers. Most of the people that have no dreams will wake up every day trying to talk you out of your dreams. They have no goals. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. So they will talk you out of all the shit that you're excited about. Family and friends, in most cases, sad to even say this, family and friends in most cases will be the first to try and talk you out of something that you're passionate, excited about, and that you have a vision for.
You can't try to help me by talking about me. It's totally different to talk to the person as opposed to talking about them. But all of us live in a world that we have to deal with criticism. And even amongst those who criticize us with evil intent, there may be something that you can learn from the criticism that will sharpen you and make you better. There are those people who say things maliciously and angrily to hurt, to assassinate you or your character or your talent or your ability. And even though their intentions are evil and wicked and corrupt, there may be some morsel of truth in what they said that helps you to hone yourself and prepare yourself and make yourself better so that you might be able to stand. Take what's good, leave what's bad, and keep on walking. When you are criticized, you are not ignored. That means that somebody noticed you, that you were doing something, that you attracted enough attention, that you made enough difference, that you got on the radar screen enough that they're talking about you. Don't run from them talking about you. They noticed you. They recognized you. There are some people that they're not talking about because they didn't even notice that they came in the room. You draw attention. And people who draw attention will also draw criticism. And the only way to avoid all criticism is to do nothing and then be ignored.
What we really want is not just success, we want fulfillment. The way we get fulfillment is self-respect, is self-confidence. And that's how somehow in your life you must begin to separate what you do from what people think about it. The people that have really won in life and in business, they eventually drop the addiction to what other people think about them. They're most concerned about what they think about them, or if they're a person of faith, of what their God thinks about them, not the rest of the world. Because the higher you climb, the more haters you're going to have. There's absolutely no question about it. You ought to hope you have more of them. The only thing I will warn people of is the higher you climb, the closer to you the haters are. So right now, if you're at one level of success, it's people at a distance that are haters. But as you climb higher, there's always those one or two people in your close circle who begin to try to pull you back down because they think you're leaving them. They make you, your success is making them uncomfortable about where they are. And so they begin to do everything they can to pull you back down.
I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. In the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of pain, a lot of setbacks. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine.
Anybody who is determined to do something, who wants something to be different, it will eventually be different. You're gifted, you're talented. God has much bigger plans for you in your life. Everything around you is going to change as soon as you change the things around you. It's very simple. You can be in the hood, change your mind, and everything about your bank account, your surroundings, your environment, for your kids, the safety of any and everything going on will all change. I'm tired of everybody running around complaining as if you're on the receiving end of whatever this world wants to dump on you and you don't have a choice. It's time to grow up, man. It's tired of people to really get out of this, excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. I want you to be successful. I want you to stop coming up with reasons and excuses as to why you're doing the same shit over and over and over and over.
Respect, my friend, is never given, it must be earned. People don't respect you just because you take a title or because you sit behind a desk or because you open up a business or because you start a company or because you start a ministry. People don't respect you just because you wear a certain outfit or you put a hat on your head. People respect you when you can take a licking and keep on ticking and stand for something.
You can write everything down if you want to. Be brave enough to write every one of your goals down. But I'm going to tell you something. Life's going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. Your why has to be greater than that knockdown. And I love it. Buster Douglas got knocked out. Nobody ever got knocked out by Mike Tyson and ever got back up. It was almost a 10 count. He was stumbling. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. Saved by the bell. He goes to his corner. The whole world is like, yep, that's it. Once he comes back out, that's it. Mike's gonna just hammer him. And exactly that. Mike Tyson came out like, I got him. I got this kid up against the rope. Listen to me, many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope. You can't give up. You can't give in. Listen to me, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, I need you to do what Buster Douglas did. Buster Douglas started fighting back. The world was shocked. Goliath has been knocked down. What happened? And they went to Buster Douglas and they asked Buster Douglas simply like, what happened? And Buster Douglas said, listen to me, it's real simple. Before my mother died,
She told the whole world that I was gonna beat Mike Tyson. And 2 days before the fight, my mother died. Buster Douglas had a decision to make. When his mother died, he could die with his mother, or he made a decision, I can wake up and I can live for mom. And he knocked Mike Tyson out simply because his why was greater than that punch. His why was greater than the defeat. His why was greater than his trial and his tribulation. And I'm telling you, if you don't know what your why is and your why isn't strong, you're gonna get knocked out every single day.
Tell the level of faith a person has by the size of their dreams. True believers dream bigger and aim higher, for they know the size of the God they serve. If you want to accomplish amazing things and experience all that life has to offer, you must set enormous, almost to the edge of insanity, goals for yourself. The age of being practical is over. Dreaming with boldness takes the limits off of God. It allows him to work the miracles that he is so willing to do. Don't set your goals in relation to your own abilities. Set your goals in accordance with the God you serve. And let me tell you this, all things are possible with God. So if you align with him, if you align with his principles, you are blessed and unstoppable. Now let's go to the word. Now to him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Now notice that last statement. According to the power that worketh in us. That means everything you need to accomplish your dream is already inside you. Wake up! That's the secret. It's already in you. When you gain revelation to that power that's in you, there's not a wall, there's not an obstacle, there's not a mountain that can stand in your way. Because all things are possible to him that believeth. And when you believe that kind of way, and you serve that kind of God, you are blessed and unstoppable. You have been granted through grace the power and authority to accomplish your divine assignment. He has placed seeds of greatness inside of you, and with that anointing, all things are possible. God does not want his ambassadors walking around on earth sick, broke, and defeated. There's no glory for him in that. He made you to prosper in every area so that you can give a shining testimony to the world of his greatness. Every victory, blessing, and success you experience is designed in some way to put you in position to minister to the lost. He has empowered you to succeed so that you can have greater access to bigger and bigger platforms to pronounce his glory. You are a soldier in the mighty army of God, and no great general would send his soldiers out into battle empty-handed. He has fully equipped you to be victorious. Your weapons are faith, mind, and the spoken word. These are the three most powerful weapons in existence. Nothing can stand in the way of them. These are the same weapons Jesus performed all his miracles with. And you have complete access to them. John 14:12 says, very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing, and they will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. Now, if the word of God promises you something, then you can rest assured in full faith that you have it. The power's in you. Go now, change the world.
Somebody told you that hard work don't pay off. I'm here to tell you, if you work for it, if you're willing to put in that sweat, that blood, and those tears, baby, I'm telling you, you can have what you want, be what you want, do what you want. Are you hearing me? Keep going till you see it. Don't quit. Don't give up. Listen to me. Don't give up. Don't give in. You hang in there. You hang in there, because if you quit right now, you ain't gonna never see it. But if you hold on, everything you dreamed of, everything you envisioned, everything you worked for, it's coming. But you can't quit or give up before you get it. If you work hard, you can't have it. It ain't nothing you can't have. You deserve it. It ain't nothing you can't have if you're willing to work for it. It ain't nothing you can't have if you're willing to persevere, if you're willing to stick in there, if you're willing to stay, if you're willing to fight. It ain't nothing you can't have. Are you hearing what your boy is telling you? It's yours. It's yours. I'm telling you, it's yours. You can have it. It's yours. You can do it. It's yours. You can be it. It's yours. If E.T. can do it, listen to me, anybody can do it. High school dropout, homeless, lived in abandoned buildings, 12 years to get a 4-year degree. If you want it as bad as you want to breathe. If you really, really want it like you say you want it, you can have it. This ain't for the weak and the uncommitted. Are you hearing me? Success is not for the weak and the uncommitted. This is physical. Sometimes it's going to hurt. Sometimes it's going to be painful. It's hard. Yep, it's hard. Yep, it's difficult. Yep, why? Because the process is weeding out the weak. It's weeding out the weak. And so sometimes you got to play hard. You got to play physical. You got to play tough. Execution is worship. You got to get to a place that when you start it, you get through the middle of it, the doldrum, and you finish it. Are you hearing me? And not just finish, you finish strong. Listen to me very closely. Most of you, the reason why you'll never be successful is because you procrastinate. You procrastinate. You never finish stuff. Don't get caught up in, well, I've tried it 4 or 5 times and things didn't work out. If there's something that you want and you're hungry for it, you've got to do whatever is necessary until. And when you give the best you can and that's not enough, you must do what is required. And don't give up on yourself. Don't throw the towel in so quickly. The secret to success is finishing. Execution is worship. Are you hearing me? Oh, you better hear what I'm telling you, baby. Listen to me very closely. Execution is worship.
No matter what you might be going through, don't quit. The secret is in not giving up. Everybody who's done something great, they weren't that deep. What they had was resiliency. They had the ability to bounce back. All the greats, they didn't quit. No matter how impossible your situation may seem, stay on course. I guarantee you cannot pass it if you quit. I guarantee you're going to fail, but you don't know what's going to happen if you keep going.
I'm fragile. I feel pain. I hurt. I open my eyes. I crave victory. I do not give up. I feel no fear. I fear no man. I create. I conquer. I hold power.
Make a choice. Just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
We can't have another bad year. You got to get to the point where enough is enough.
It's much easier to come up with excuses why you can't do it. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is easy, complain about your situation, your circumstances, surrender and give up on your dreams, become depressed and bitter and angry. Anybody can do that. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, keep coming back again and again and again. Get up dressed every day.
Take life on. Taking life by the collar. You say, yes, I will do it.
I can do this. And you've said to yourself, I'm willing to face the noise. I'm willing for people to laugh at me. I'm willing to gut this out. I'm willing to make this happen. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's hard. It's worth it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one, it's possible for me, and I'm going to do it. And if you do that over and over and over again,
your life will be